I had some tantrums of saying, I can't do this is too hard. When I was a kid and comparing myself to everyone else and saying, I can't do it, I'll never be able to do that. My parents always sat me down and said, look, Nick, yes, there are things that you can't do, but don't say I can't do it. Ask yourself, how can I do it? You know, there's ways around it. You can get from one side of the mountain to another, but you don't just have to walk over it. Maybe you can go underneath it or around it, or there's always ways in achieving the same goal. The way that I've achieved in my life doesn't always look the same for everyone else. But the key to that success was I believed in myself. If someone else could do something, then I could try and work out how. It starts with believing in yourself. I would rather be a poor, honest man than a rich, selfish, and lying man. You know, some people think, well, it's okay to say a little lie. It's okay to cut this corner or cut that corner. Well, if I just take that, is anyone really gonna notice? Well, you always are with you, and you can never forget what you wish you could sometimes forget. For me, I want peace more than money. I want to be the person of integrity. And integrity breeds integrity. You know, a lot of businesses that I come across and people, they say, well, there's so much corruption in my country. You know, it's so hard to be the person of integrity in the company of integrity these days. Well, if we don't start with us, then when is the change gonna happen? When you are setting the example and the standard of that excellence, that's when things are changing for the better. That piece is what I want, that changes what I want, and that is integrity. Before I went to school every day, my mom and dad were like, okay, Nick, it's okay, don't worry about what other people think of you. You're beautiful, you're special. And I'm like, I don't want to be special, I just want to be what? Normal. You know, the whole idea of what beauty is, you need to be taller, shorter, thinner, whatever. No, you're beautiful just the way you are. That's what I want you to believe today and see that your inner beauty says much more about anything about you than your value as far as what you can do, what you're good at, what you're going to be in your career or anything like that. You, your soul, your spirit, your smile, the way you love people, the way you're compassionate, the way you have the ability to listen to people, communicate, whatever it is. Just you being you. There's never going to be another you, and there has never been another you. You are beautiful. Many people ask me who my mentors are. One thing in common that they all have is humility. They knowing that we all are in the same boat. Everyone has challenges, everyone has different gifts, and we're in this together. I have learned that if I ever become a person who feels like I'm better than someone else is when I start putting barriers up, when I start becoming less transparent, when I'm not as compassionate, when I'm not as loving and giving. You know, more than the goal that I achieve or the success that I have is who I affect along the way. And to love and impart encouragement to people around me, that always begins with humility. To care for someone means you're not thinking about yourself, you're thinking about them. The greatest thing to start with when you're planning for success is to be humble. Money, money, money makes the world go round. You've heard that before. And you just feel like you can never have enough. That's how a lot of people live. I don't live that way. I don't like to have at all the desire to have more stuff, that car, this, that. All these things, they never satisfy the soul. What's the point of gaining the whole world when you lose your soul? What's the point of bringing your business to the next level when you've neglected your family and you've now lost what was more important to you than money? Money can't buy you love. Money can't buy you peace. It's not about getting stuff, and you can be greedy in many things. I want to be a person of generosity, and especially with time. I don't want to be selfish with my time. I want to be generous and making sure that my family is my first priority above anything that I do. So don't get caught in the chains of greed. They say you're only as strong as your team is. It's so true when you look at any level of success in anything that requires any sort of team. I couldn't be who I am today and write books and become a speaker and have my nonprofit charity taking me all around the world without a team. You know, many people find it very difficult to understand the importance of making sure that your team actually feels like a team and that you're building them up. You can have very strong chains trying to wrap something up, but if one of those links in the chain is weak, then the whole chain breaks. It's so important that you don't just look at the bottom line and the profit or loss. You don't just look at the things you've achieved. No, we're a team. We need to help each other. We need to cover each other's backs. It's known that it's lonely at the top unless you bring your team with you. I want to ask you a pretty heavy question. If today was your last day, what would you do? What about if this was your last minute to live? I know it sounds a little crazy, but let's say you never had a chance to say goodbye to your family, to your friends. You never were able to thank the people you should have thanked. Maybe you didn't forgive and you still have this burden on your heart. Maybe there's something that you've done wrong in your life and you just never got the chance to say, I'm sorry. Communicating those things, you know, you gotta just live your life today, not knowing for sure if tomorrow is gonna come. I wanna ask you, if this was your last day, what would you do? Who would you hug? Who would you call? Who would you say thank you to? And who would you forgive? We all make mistakes, but some of us never say sorry. Now look, I don't want to be too harsh, but when someone hurts you, it hurts you. But it hurts even more when they never say so sorry. Look, in my life, I know that someone saying sorry to me, it's the beginning of the healing. It's the beginning of trying to leave it behind and pressing forward. It's so hard to leave what's behind when they never say that word. But what about the people you've hurt? Have you hurt anyone? Have you maybe taken advantage of someone or not really given them what they need to feel appreciated? Maybe you've done something so bad that you never have the courage to say sorry. Don't let what you've done chain them forever. Just get the courage to say, hey, I'm sorry.